We done all the notes. Good to move on. Need a minute? No? Okay, good. Hanabila, these madhab are very near each other in this. Hanabila, they say, Marid must pray standing if he can. A person who has an illness or whatever weakness, but if he can pray standing, then he must pray standing. But even if he is only able to stand in the position of ruku, meaning he can't stand, but he can stand in the position of ruku, then he must pray in that position. He will do, because ruku is part of qiyam, ruku is standing. Your legs are straight, yeah. Your back is bent, but it's a type of standing. So, Hanabila say a person will need to stand and pray as long as he can do whichever way of standing, of praying, even if it meant that he was almost in ruku or in ruku to pray. So that's the qiyam must be done. Due to the hadith again from Imran bin Hussein, we mentioned last time, Salli qa'iman, he said, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to him, pray standing. If you can't, pray sitting. And also based from the hadith, إذا أمرتكم بأمر فأتوا منه ما استطعتم. We have used this many times. Many fuqaha use this for many rulings. When I order you for something, إذا أمرتكم بأمر or بشيء, when I order you something, bring from it what you can. Yeah. In terms of a person who can only stand with support and leaning on something, the madhab of Hanabila is like the madhab of Malikis. Yeah. And I told you, when we were doing istiqlal, leaning on something, Shafis don't consider that to be a thing for qiyam. They say even if you're holding something, the qiyam is proven, you are still standing. Yeah. But if Hanabila, they say, if you can stand holding something, leaning on something with a support, then you should do that. Okay, like the Malikis did. And if you can't do that, if you can't even do that, then you should sit and pray. How do you sit and pray? Cross-legged, mutarabbi'an. Okay? But they do not differentiate like Malikis. Malikis said you will do the qiyam, the badal of qiyam and ruku in a cross-legged position and the rest in tashahhud position, right? They say you just pray cross-legged. And if he can't do that, he will pray on his side, on the right side, and he will gesture for ruku and sujood. Alright? And if he cannot even do that, okay, he can't pray on his sides, right or left, then he will just pray lying down on the floor, straight. The only madhab I know of, they mention if a person can't do that, he will pray on his stomach. Is the Maliki. I'm not sure if the other madhab have said that. I've not come across it. Allahu A'lam. And the rest of the details I mentioned about if you can't. If a person, he can't say it, he will read in his heart. If he can't do action, he will do imagination of the action. Like Shafis, Hanabila are same in that sense. They will be like Shafis. Okay? So you can put a note there, Hanabila as well with the Shafi notes. And the hadith which they rely on for these masail, there are many hadith obviously. One which has a lot of detail is the main guide of the madhab. Is from Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, mentioned by Daraqutni. It says, Yusalli al-maridu qa'iman, the one who is unwell, ill, sick, excused, he will pray standing. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ, if he can't do that, Salah qa'idan, he will pray sitting down. فإن لم يستطع, if he can't do that, أن يسجد. فإن لم يستطع أن يسجد, if he cannot do sujood, he will أومأ وجعل سجوده أخفض من ركوعه. He will gesture for it, and he will make his sujood more lower than, the gesture will be more lowering than his ruku. So far, clear? And also, فإن لم يستطع أن يصلي قاعدا صلى على جنبه الأيمن مستقبل القبلة. If he cannot pray sitting down, he will pray on his right, on his right side facing the Qibla. And if he cannot do that, فإن لم يستطع صلى مستلقيا, he will do pray lying down his back. رجلاه مستلقيا رجلاه مما يلي القبلة, so he towards the Qibla. Yeah. So this hadith doesn't mention lying down on the left side. Did you notice that? He said pray standing and sitting down. If you can't do that, on his right side. If you can't do that, on the back. So he doesn't mention. But the Hanabila, they do say that his salah is still valid if he prayed on the left side. But now, if there was a good reason, look, a person can, due to this hadith, he can't pray on the right and he prays straight on his back. He doesn't go towards the left. According to this hadith, he would be following hadith. But if he prays towards the on his left side, facing the Qibla, his salah is still valid because of the general permission from the hadith of Imran bin Hussein. Nabi Sallallahu said to him, if you can't sit, you're lying down. So that's also lying down. Yeah. So even the Hanabila, they do say that his salah is valid if he did praise on the left side, lying down on the left side. And even his salah, because of the same hadith, right? Imran bin Hussein, you say that if he prayed lying down on the left side, his salah is valid because he's lying down. So if now we have a scenario, someone couldn't sit, but instead of going to the right side, while he could pray on the right side or left side, he went straight on his back. Still his salah is valid. His salah is valid for the same reason of hadith of Imran bin Hussein we mentioned last time. As long as he's towards the Qibla, his feet are towards the Qibla. But it is disliked. Some of the Hanabila, they don't, they said it's not allowed and they dislike it. But in general, Hanabila, they agree the salah is fine. Okay. If a person can do gesture, they say if a person has the ability to gesture for ruku and sujood, then he must do it. It's not an option for him. If he can't do it, he can't do it. But if he can do it, then it's not an option for him. Then he must do it. But if he's unable to do it, then, if he can't do any gestures, then the Ahnaf at this point say he'll have to make this salah up. But the Hanabila, they like Shafi'is in that as well. They say he will do from his eyes, his imagination, and he'll pray. Unlike Ahnaf, the madhab is near the madhab of Shafi'is. Yeah? So he will pray with his, if he can only pray with his eyes, he will pray with his eyes. Yeah, and he will say the words if he can.
Finger can? Sometimes people say you can't do it.
Or
Just hard by it.
But it's still a gesture. If you can do with your eyes, you can do with your hands, definitely. Why not? Yeah. If he can't do anything else, only his finger, yeah, why not? It's better than eyes. This is a proper movement of limb. Yeah. And again, same as all other madhahib. if a person is conscious, and able to understand that he has time to pray, then the salah, the obligations on him. Even though Ahnaf might say this at one point, it becomes qada salah for him to make up. But nevertheless, they all agree the obligation is there. If a person, Hanabila also say that, if a person has a sound mind and he can understand that he has an obligation of salah, then salah is fard on him. Okay? But he can't do any actions. He will just do the wording. He will just read it, imagine the actions. And if he can't even read the words, then he will just read in his heart. And like we said, so he won't do any gestures, he won't move his eyes or head, he neither need to move his lips, but he'll pray conscious of that he's praying. Yeah? So in summary, Ahnaf, let's what the all four madhab they say. Ahnaf say, a person should be able to do at least a gesture. Okay? If he can't even do that, can't even move his head, then he doesn't have to, that salah is not due on him to be prayed at that time, but obligations on him as long as he is conscious in his mind. He cannot pray with his eyes and with his mind, in his heart, because the action, salah is an action part must be there. Malikis, they said, as long as a person can do niyyah, he has the ability, he will pray, and with or without even moving his eyes, the minimum, the requirement, he is conscious enough to make an intention that I am making that salah, and then the rest is like the other madhahib, Hanabila and Shafis. He'll imagine, he will say if he can, if not, in his heart. Okay, but they all agree. A person who is, is conscious enough to know the salah is salah time, then salah is wajib, fard on him. Okay, that's done. This second rukun is done.